Embrace the beauty that lives within the struggle. The struggle is real, but you can use it for your advantage. Once you embrace that beauty, look for the truth and make it beautiful. There's truth in the struggle. There's beauty in the struggle. Make the journey beautiful.
Don't got no heart, I got an icebox. Brand new rolling, swipe at the G-Shock. Moving slowly, I know the street hype. No more double, go ahead and detox. Came from the trenches, they ain't showing us no love. Thugging in the city, all we wanted was a hug, yeah. We on the block like every night to catch a buzz. Get the cash and tell my family out the hood, that's a must.
Hey y'all, I'm Guyton here, and I just finished talking to Ruben, Rojas on the Live Through Love podcast, and we talked about life, we talked about family, we talked about resilience and a career and figuring it out and trusting yourself. You don't want to miss it.
I was just at the Super Bowl.
You were at the Super Bowl. I forgot.
It was my birthday.
Yes.
And you came out and holy shit.
Yeah.
You killed it.
That was wild.
Like, I got goosebumps. I'm like, oh my God.
That was a wild moment. Like, I feel like I prepared my whole life for that. But it was also one of the most nerve-wracking things that I've ever experienced.
I can imagine.
If you can, like, when people ask me what it felt like, and now you know, it felt like I was about to give birth for the first time. And I was about to walk down the aisle to the wrong guy, but I already paid for the wedding. That's what my nerves felt like walking out there. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
wow. It probably didn't hurt or help when they told you how many millions of people are watching.
Yes.
I think almost the whole world.
And I remember walking out there and I walked by Jay-Z's suite and I walked by Justin Bieber's suite. And then in my suite that I was in with Prince Harry was there. And I could not believe that that was, and then 50 Cent was right next to him. I'm like, who am I? It was just a lot. It was a lot to process that day.
So, let's talk about creators.
Yeah.
Overnight success.
It's not.
You've been doing this for how long now?
20 years. 20 years.
If you turn on the TV, it might seem like it was yesterday that you just came on.
Yeah, it seems like it was just yesterday, but people have no idea the blood, sweat, tears, and years that I put through or that I went through to get here. There was moments. It was more famine than feast. It was way more famine than feast. I wasn't able to pay my bills in 2018. Like, that was not long ago. I remember I was living in this apartment complex. Oh my God. And I was basically singing for my rent. And I was an influencer. And I lived in an apartment building where I would sing to pay my rent. And that was probably one of the lowest points for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
2018 was the year I just stopped going to the office and did this as well.
Yeah.
So I could definitely relate to that.
Yeah. You really just dive in and you're like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the right thing?
You probably singing something you didn't really want to sing, me painting something I didn't really want to paint.
Yeah. Just
to figure it out because, we still got to pay bills.
Yeah, we still have to pay bills. I remember at that time, it can be really lonely, when you're pursuing something that people don't understand. I'm sure your parents, like my parents, were like, so you got any other options here? Are you gonna, when are you gonna hang up the towel? Like, what is your plan B? And I'm like, I don't have a plan B. Like, this is it. I don't know how to do anything else. And then wrestling with that in your own mind, like maybe they're right. Most likely they are right, but I'm too far in.
Yeah, the voice of doubt is
very loud.
Very loud. It echoes.
It echoes loudly, and at night, it's the worst for me. Around 4:00 in the morning.
Wakes you up?
Yeah. Like there were a lot of sleepless nights where people were sleeping or, and the age of Instagram where you look at everything that everybody else is doing and you're like, how is everybody doing so well? And I'm literally, I have nothing is how it feels.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they just bought a house and they just bought a house.
They're on a vacation.
Yeah,
Like,
what's
how
up?
can you afford a vacation? You know, all that kind of stuff. And my relationship, at least you had your person with you. I like my husband lived here and I lived in Nashville. So not only was it lonely feeling like and knowing that you're struggling in your career, but in your relationship, like the only thing I had was my cat and my dog.
Cats don't cuddle that much either.
Mine does.
Oh, you got lucky. Okay.
Halle Berry definitely loves to cuddle me.
So how is that? You're in this lonely industry.
Yeah.
And your partner's not with you.
Yeah.
You're almost on opposite coasts.
Yeah.
You're in a brand new city at this time. I mean, how long were you in Nashville for?
It wasn't a brand new city at this time. I was, by 2018, I had lost everything. I had felt like my whole career was gone. And I didn't know what to write about. I didn't know what to sing about. I had nothing. So it was really, 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 really difficult for me. Very, very difficult.
But you're here.
I'm here now.
And you made it and you pushed through.
I pushed through.
So, as artists, as creatives, I don't think people realize the silos we're in or the islands that we're on.
They have no idea.
Even with your support, you had a record deal.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that truly mean in the record industry?
Not a lot. You sign your deal. I like to say that like signing a record deal is like the wedding. Like it's beautiful. It's champagne. You get a little signing bonus that you're like, it's big for you at that time.
Yeah.
But then really it's nothing. It's like hardly any money. You're supposed to make that last till you start working.
Mm-hmm.
But I signed my deal in 2013. So that little signing bonus I had has been gone a long, 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 long time ago. And it was how I've survived. Like a record deal it's literally the wedding. And then the real work happens. And either you're going to stay and last, or you're going to get a divorce. That's what a record deal is.
So it's sink or swim. It just
sink
means
or swim, and most of us sink.
It just means someone kind of opened the door for you.
Yes, they open the door for you. There's funds available, but only if they decide to give you those funds. If they see that you're worthy of those funds, they will give them to you. If not, good luck. You're just stuck. You're shelved. You're on that shelf with that paint.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck.
I was on the shelf with the paint for a long time.
But here, it's not for a lack of talent. The talent isn't, you're the real deal when it comes to
Thank
singing.
you.
I've heard it. And
Thank you. There's a lot of talented singers. It's really hard work and believing in yourself when nobody else does and not quitting.
Mm-hmm.
The industry, especially the music industry and life in general, I don't know how it is in other countries, but here specifically in America, like your timeline is short. Like
we get old quick, right?
Yeah. And they start, ageism is a thing and it definitely has to go away because the reality of it is some people are lucky to have their careers when they're young.
Mm-hmm.
But really, our minds aren't even developed enough to even understand the gravity of that. Truly.
Mm-hmm.
And most people in real life and normal careers, like we start reaching our peaks the older we get.
Yeah.
And so, but in the music industry, it's like, this is your window. You better make it happen in that or you're screwed. You're done. You're over.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're looking at it as an executive, you're like, oh, I just hit 40. I'm hitting my stride.
Yeah.
We're starting to get into the senior VP level. You get closer to 50. Oh, now I'm looking at C-level type career, and this is where I'm going.
Yeah. But in the industry, like you better get there by the time you're 21.
But some people may not even realize or know they have this passion or this talent.
Yeah.
Because in the world, it's, what we were saying earlier, your parents are like, go be a doctor, go be an attorney, go be a banker.
Yeah.
So like I was pre-med.
Yeah.
And here I am doing this.
Imagine. I could never even see that. Like what you're doing, spreading love in the city of angels. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
To think you were in pre-med.
Pre-med. And then it was real estate.
Yes.
And then it was financial advising.
See, you found a whole path for yourself. Can you imagine if you just stuck with one thing like we are supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have ever found this. And you're good.
Thank you.
You're really good. Like that mural you made for Z for your proposal was like stunning.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. No. And, but that's the thing, you know, part of what she brought out in me is this belief in what I'm doing, what I have available to me. Because most of the time you have a partner.
Yeah.
And male and female dynamics, we're supposed to be the providers and the safety. And so I had a finance job. Boom. And the suit and tie out the door, money coming in. She's like, no, you're not happy. Go do this.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Z, you know, she's not wired like your typical person.
Yeah, she's definitely not. Like the same thing with my husband, Grant. He is extremely intelligent like you. Like his brain is on a whole different spectrum. And I mean, he went to law school. He was getting ready to have his job. He had an office job, making money, boom, boom, boom. But I could see he was not happy. And I remember he said to me, I think I want to start my own law firm. And like my shoulders just shrunk. They fell because I knew that that's what he needed to do. But I knew we were really, really, really struggling. Yeah. But if I'm pursuing my career in music, how can I not support him and his dream of starting his own law firm? And it makes so much more sense. Yeah. And he's done the same thing for me. And I've wanted to quit so many times in the music industry, and his law firm started doing so well, I was able to continue pursuing it. And imagine if I didn't and he was miserable. It's good when you have a good partner that, you know, supports you.
No,
we're very
it's
lucky.
Everything. Yes. Yes. I say thank you all the time.
Right. We are.
But one little choice, one different thing could lead you to a whole nother path.
Like, not yet. Exactly. Like I remember, I want to say it was in 2018 when I was really at my low point, and I was really ready to give up music. I was ready to let it go. I was done. And I remember we were here in LA, I was visiting, and I asked him, I said, why do you think country music isn't working for me? And the conversation we had, like he challenged me. He says, you've been pursuing country music this whole time, and all you were doing was trying to sing someone else's story and someone else's truth. And you need to write your truth and stop running away from everything that makes you different. And those words in that moment changed everything for me. Wow. Everything. I went from like having no idea how to write. And before we even started this, you said writer's block. I had like a 5-year writer's block where I had no idea what I was singing, what I wanted to sing. And when he told me that, I couldn't go to sleep at night because I had so many ideas, and I'm just typing them in my phone, like just writing everything down that I could that was just coming out of my brain because I was just being me. Yeah. Yeah. And I could definitely relate to those moments. Yeah. But that's beautiful. At the end of the day, so I'm hearing a couple of things here. Yeah. You ended up getting to your lowest low, and I'd love to hear what that really felt like. But prior to that, you were pursuing your passion. Yeah. But you weren't truly authentically being you in that moment. So would some of that be, I know a little bit about the music industry, not a lot, and just what I've seen in some movies and things. I feel like a lot of executives try to put you into this box or make you not be who you are. All of the time. Like it's crazy to me because you sign a record deal and they sign you because of who you are as an artist in that moment. Then you sign there and then they want to change and strip everything away from you. That was you. And I allowed it. I allowed them. And in doing that, I completely lost who I was. Like I let them tell me how I should wear my hair. And as a Black woman, we wear our hair several different ways. Yeah. If I want my hair to be blue, I'll have my hair be blue. And then tomorrow I'll change and have a pixie cut because we switch our hair so much. But in that, I let them take that identity from me. And I know that their intentions were not in a bad space. They were just trying to help interpret something that was foreign to them. And that was difficult. Like that was really, really, really hard to navigate that. Like imagine, I mean, I'm sure you felt it. We've all, as minorities, have felt at some point someone trying to interpret you to fit their narrative.
You gave them the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
which is why you allowed some of this to happen. Yeah. But you see yourself 5 years later at the lowest low.
Oh my God.
You're about to quit.
Yep.
Like, what does that feel like about to quit?
It felt, I was finally coming at peace. I found peace in it. I was like, you know what? I've given my all. This must not be right for me. But if it's not right for me, I need to make sure it's right for the people after me. And that was kind of where my thinking was, because a lot of people don't understand in country music, the data is all there. I can send you all the research, but the ratio of men to women making it in country music, it's like, there is none. It's just all men. And maybe there's like a woman here and there. Like in the top, I'm sure if we went on the radio, on the media-based charts right now, there may be 2 women in the top 30. And that was something that was really frustrating to me. And I think that's what gave me the will to keep going, because it wasn't like everybody was making it and I was just the lone wolf, like it was me with a bunch of other women. It wasn't just Black women. There weren't really any Black women. So it was me and a bunch of white women, and none of us were making it. And I was just frustrated. I was so angry. I was angry. I just felt like there was so much injustice happening. And I remember my moment where I was like, I'm done. And I was at a Universal Grammy after party here in LA. And I remember at this time I had quit drinking. So there was a lot of drinking involved and depression involved whenever, I was getting ready to quit. And in this final moment, I was at a Grammy after party and we were going to meet with some guy over at Spotify about playing this song that I had wrote about being a Black woman in America. And I remember walking up to this man sober and I batted my eyelashes for an opportunity for him to play a song that meant so much to me about my own oppression in this country. And I remember feeling completely horrible about myself. And also in that moment, I remember I looked around this room and I saw like Billie Eilish and I saw Haley Steinfeld and some of the most beautiful women I had ever seen in my life in this room. And there was a common denominator walking about that room. It was a bunch of men, a bunch of white men in business suits in this room. And I remember looking around and I was like, wow, like we don't own ourselves. Like we are nothing but the money in these men's pockets. And like there's human beings behind this facade and these grandiose versions of ourselves. There's a human behind it. And I remember feeling really, really sad. And I thought to myself, like, what did all these women specifically go through to get to this point, and how are they feeling inside? And I remember I went home. Flew back to Nashville the next morning, and I wrote this song about the oppression of women called "What Are You Gonna Tell Her?" And it's almost like in that fight, in that moment of me being ready to give up, I found a whole new purpose and reason. And that was to fight for the voiceless, which I had no intention of doing that. I was like the girl next door, drank too much with Z, to this woman that was like a fighter. It was a really weird moment.
So you found the flame to your music moving forward. Yeah. And that was after the conversation with Grant.
Yeah, it was after the conversation with Grant. And I had already started writing some songs that were my truth. Like I wrote this song called Black Like Me, and I wrote this song called Love My Hair in like the same week, about just learning to love and accept myself. And then 2 weeks later, I wrote this song, or not 2 weeks later, like a year later, I wrote this song called What Are You Gonna Tell Her? That changed everything.
Overnight success.
Overnight. 10-year success, 20-year
Wow.
success. Yes.
That's amazing though. But you were at that line, which put you at the bottom, which made you dig deep.
Yeah.
You found your voice, you found the spark in your flame, and look at you now.
And now I'm like, I was never like an advocate. Like that was not ever my space. And I was the person that tried to make the least amount of noise to just get by, to completely turning an industry around in my determination of burning that good old boy system to the ground. Like it is 2022. Inclusion matters. And since all this happened, we've got, gay country artists that are living their truth and are bringing their boyfriends or fiancés, whatever, to these award shows and kissing them publicly, showing and displaying their love publicly. There's a huge influx of Black art coming in that is being considered and accepted. Like we're all coming together, and it's just so beautiful. Yeah,
that's amazing. Now, how does that feel?
That feels good.
Yeah.
That feels really, really
So now you're
good.
in it. Now you're living it.
Yeah.
I just see it pouring over you. This story is amazing.
Yeah.
And, but it leads me to ask a question. Why country?
I grew up loving country music. I wanted to become a country singer because I went to a Texas Rangers baseball game when I was 8 or 9 years old. And I'll never forget, Leanne Rimes was singing the national anthem, which makes the national anthem a very full circle moment for me. But I'll remember the announcer said, "Please rise," as 10-year-old Leanne Rimes sings the national anthem. And I was all the way in the nosebleed section. And I remember in that moment, like, I want to do that. So it wasn't like, why country? It was just like, whatever that is, I just loved it. And it happened to be country.
It's amazing. Great story. I saw Leanne Rimes when I was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
You hit your numbers, you do quota buster, and you get, leaders conference and these things.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good at what I did. And they flew us out to Denver and we did our whole retreat there. They rented out all of Red Rock Amphitheater, and Leanne Rimes just sang us a private concert at that amphitheater.
Isn't she incredible?
It was amazing. And I don't know if you've ever been to that location.
I have not been to that location yet.
You're in the middle of just the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's all natural. And just the music bellows. In my head, I was like, you should play that.
I would love, that'd be a dream of mine to play there. But Leanne, and now she and I are friends. Like, what a full circle moment. And she is salt of this earth. She's one of the kindest human beings. Like, people have no idea what a good, genuine human she is.
And I love hearing that about people.
Yeah.
Because you know how they say, don't meet your heroes?
Yeah.
And sometimes
she's one I'm so glad. I remember I met her at the studio. I was singing some backgrounds on one of her records, and she's very standoffish at first. Not because she doesn't like you, but I think she's just gone through a lot of trauma and has been hurt, and people have harmed her. So she steps back just to see what's going on. And I was like, does the girl like me? Like, did I do something? And next thing you know, there's a knock on the door and food comes in, and she orders you this like organic, incredibly made food and be like, you need to eat. And like, that's the type of person she is. Like, she just goes above and beyond, not because she wants approval, but that's how she shows her love. Yeah.
And she showed it just by showing up in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you've sang the national anthem, you've hosted TV shows.
Yeah.
What's next?
So I'm working on a new album, which is crazy. I've got another one coming. I actually developed a really great relationship and writing relationship with this artist from this group, Florida Georgia Line, and his name is Tyler Hubbard. And we've been writing a lot together, and these songs are coming out this summer. I'm really excited. And we're putting that out, a tour. I just bought a house finally.
Congratulations.
I know. I'm really excited. It's in Nashville. I still can't afford a house here in LA.
We're going to have to go visit.
Yeah. Y'all have to come visit.
I haven't been to Nashville. I'm dying to go.
Visit. Whenever whenever we move everything in, y'all have to come and bring Grammy. We'll have like family time. Yeah. So that's what's next. I do eventually want to start my own record label. I love discovering artists. Like, I'm really passionate about artists. I'm really passionate about their life beyond artistry. I think that that's something that I don't think a lot of labels ever think about. It's just like, let's make the money, but are you really setting this person up? Like, not just financially, but mentally.
Yeah.
Like, they don't ever even think to take care of us in that way, because what we do is not normal. And I don't know. That's what I love to do.
And you touched on it earlier. It's also the timeline, you know, of an athlete. Not all athletes are Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Some are like in and out in 3 years.
Yeah.
Same with musicians, one hit wonder or the Rolling Stones.
You still need to support them, you know?
What does life look like? You know, you have a manager, but the manager is usually trying to make deals. In finance, I got involved in some of that. And it's a scary, scary space.
It's a really, really scary space. Yeah. The more successful you get, I think it gets scarier. Yeah.
Making sure you don't get walled off, making sure you have the right people around you.
Yeah. I've been really fortunate enough, thank God. I have really great management. I've got a great record label, regardless if I ever stay with them or not. And there's always an end, no matter what. Like, I know that those people, specifically the president of the label, Cindy Mabe, is a lifelong friend and confidant, and just someone who uses what she has for the greater good. So however I can be a part of that. That's and good. My mom always told me, she always said to find a purpose within your purpose. And that was something that always struck me. Because yes, our purpose is like, your purpose is art, but your purpose beyond art is to bring love through your art. And for me, my purpose is art, but it's also to bring love and equality to an industry through my art. And that helps me sleep at night.
Find a purpose within the purpose. I love that.
Yeah.
I might have to steal that.
You should.
Use it.
You
moving
should.
Forward.
Next one's purpose.
There we go. We'll send it to your mom.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to have to remember to do that.
Yeah, you should.
Mom, you're getting something special.
Yes.
So there's a question I like to ask people, you know, live through love is like Nike, just do it. Ruben, live through love.
Okay.
How do you define living through love?
Man, that's a good question. I guess the way that I've lived my life and done even the music industry or the country music industry specifically, everybody's so self-centered. What we do is very narcissistic and me. But in order for me to be able to do this, I always put the focus on other people. And living through love means giving opportunities to people that don't necessarily have them. And I guess that's how I live through love, is using my platform and trying to help as much as I can and help other people's dreams come true, is how I live through love. Just, I'm a mom. I was a mom before I was a mom. Like, I took care of everybody. That's, I guess that's how I live through love. I don't know. That might be a bad answer, but that's how I do.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, you know, what you do is very narcissistic.
Yes.
And there's a point where ego is a defense mechanism. Ego is still something to protect us and drive us by.
Yeah.
But where does that fall in as a singer, as a person that goes on stage in front of millions of people on the topic of self-love?
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on that. I'm probably the meanest to myself. That's something I'm still working through. Thank God I have my husband. He's the one that gets the brunt of it. Not in a bad way, but he gets the side that no one sees. Like, you see me as a strong person that's like, I've got everybody else, but I don't always have me. And I'm still working through that, to be honest. I'm not always the most loving to myself. I wish I had a better answer, but it's something that I battle with on a daily basis. I wish I loved myself as much as I see some people love themselves. Or maybe that's all, we're all just lying and trying to act like we do, but really.
It's true. A lot of us are. We put on this mask and it's like, This is me loving myself. And then truth, no. And you have to look at the mirror and say, today I wake up, I look at you, I choose to love you.
Yeah. I'm that's something I've got to learn.
It's a practice. It's like working out.
Like I mean, even this past weekend, doing award shows and stuff like that. Like sometimes I can't even look at pictures of myself because I'll find myself like just mean. And I would never, my husband always says this to me. He goes, would you ever want someone to say that to Gray? Would you ever feel that way about Gray? And I was like, no, I wouldn't. He says, well, stop doing that to you. And I was like, so that's something I think my son teaches me is teaching me that I need to be better in order, because I don't want to pass those feelings and thoughts to my child. I don't want him to ever feel that.
Well, they could feel it versus hear it. And they see more than what we think.
I know. Absolutely. It's something I've got to like really work on.
So if I could challenge you selfishly on something, and trust me, I have these conversations too.
Please.
I ask a lot of people, it's just an exercise. Just write yourself a love letter.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an elaborate essay. It could just be, I love you, I love you, I love you. But just write something. Maybe it's a song. Yeah. Maybe I'd love to hear it. But if you write the letter, I'd love for you to send it to me so I can read it.
I'll write it in my notes. I'll definitely. It's something I need to really, really, really work on. Like I'm so good at being there and showing up for everybody else, but I'm not good at showing up for myself.
We have to fill our own cups up too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's
so the little girl out there looking up to you.
Yes.
What are 3 things that you want to tell her?
Yes.
That will lead her on a path toward where you're at, especially in the stance that you're taking for the industry?
Give yourself grace. Don't ever lose belief in yourself, no matter how hard it gets. And to open your damn mouth.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Mickey.
Thank you.
It's been amazing.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad you joined us.